It's nice to speak with you today, Ashok. And today I'm looking forward to this interesting topic about will IDNs or integrated delivery networks replace the current GPO model and impact the $600 billion supply chain. Before we start, can you provide a brief background of yourself?
Sure. Dustin, first of all, thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure being here. Since you've interviewed a lot of great people in the supply chain area, it's a pleasure to be here. I am the founder and CEO of NoGPO.com. We are an exchange or a marketplace that brings the suppliers and the hospitals on a common platform so that they can conduct the business without the middlemen, i.e. the GPOs.
Can you start by talking about, explain what is IDN?
IDN is short for Integrated Delivery Networks. This is nothing but a chain of hospitals or a group hospitals decide that they have enough mass and enough volume within their hospitals. So they create an integrated delivery network with or without the participation of the group purchasing organizations so that they can basically leverage the volumes that they have and be able to get better pricing and other things from the suppliers, and also be able to share best practices within their network of hospitals.
Why are they becoming popular?
Dustin, as you know, the GPO model has, in all practical purposes, has lived out its course. GPOs are the only industry that were allowed by the government to actually and lawfully accept a 3% commission on the volume that passes through their hands. And over a period of time, that 3% has increased to anywhere from 15 to 16%. And the integrated delivery networks are realizing that if they were to build the supporting infrastructure, they can pretty much do majority of the buying directly from the suppliers, and thereby they don't have to pay this enormous amount of money to the group purchasing organizations, and they can better run their supply chains and also better control their relationship with the suppliers, and that is not happening today. So the GPOs control all of the flow of the material and the information that passes through these entities. So IDNs are interested to create their own network and hence manage their own destiny.
How are they different?
They are different from the perspective that they are building their own infrastructure, they are managing their own processes, they are improving upon the technology infrastructure that they have. So if you really look at an IDN in the kind of an ideal world, that's what should have been happening in the first case. GPOs are an anomaly, as you will realize, because they are only in the healthcare industry, whereas none of the other industries actually have a middleman apart from being the dealers and distributors. So IDNs are creating a different network, a different outcome, and I am sure the continuation of the IDNs will proliferate, and more group hospitals will think of creating their own IDNs, and probably they will go to the next step of saying, when we have put all this infrastructure in place, we are managing our own destiny. Do we really need the GPOs? Are they relevant anymore?
Can you talk about the what challenges they face?
Sure. Creating the IDN is the first step in any integrated delivery network becoming independent. But that doesn't mean that the success is guaranteed, right? So if you really look at it, starting an IDN is a great vision, but the great vision can be undone by flawed execution. Even within an IDN, if the underlying processes continue to operate as usual, then that means that they've only put a Band-Aid on a very serious business ailment. Now, the second thing is one size does not fit all, right? Acute and non-acute facilities each have their own IDN requirements, and those IDN requirements have to be baked in order for somebody to start either a new IDN or improve upon the existing IDN. The third point is substandard product data, right? It results in substandard savings. So in the healthcare industry, the data, lack of it or the quality of the data plays a big role. So it's very critical for an IDN to invest in data standardization and to maintain that uniform catalogs, pricing, recalls and the replacement information. Now with all the new GS1 coming in, so they would need to invest in that area. The fourth point is they have multiple IT systems and there is a lack of real-time integration. So an IDN, if you will see when they start their journey, oftentimes they have depended on the GPOs to provide some technology infrastructure, and they have acquired some technology on their own. And whenever there is a mergers and acquisition situation, that system actually gets a lot more complex. So the systems really don't speak the same language. They don't talk to each other, as a result of which they're all in silos. You can't get the information out. If you can't get the information out, that means you can't get the business intelligence. And the last and not the least is the healthcare industry has been very slow in embracing the cloud and the SaaS technologies. Now, that is a combination of either a fear about the patient confidentiality, the HIPAA compliance, and so on and so forth. So if they were to embrace some of these newer technologies, that would greatly help an IDN, either somebody building a new IDN or improving upon the existing IDN becomes very powerful.
How can existing IDNs become more successful, and what can new IDNs do to lay the groundwork?
I think the first and the foremost is to be able to clearly define why are you even forming an IDN, right? Do you have a cultural ethos in the company where you can bring about these changes? And IDNs are going to require a substantial amount of investments in terms of people, process, and technology. And if they were to cover all those bases, then if they were to select a technology and build some of the supporting services on top of that core technology, then they are building an ecosystem that helps them to work very effectively with their suppliers and be able to remove all those obstacles that can be in their way for success.
Well, thank you, Ashok, for sharing your views today on this topic.
Thank you very much, Dustin. It's been a pleasure speaking to you, and I will look forward to your posts and informative posts on LinkedIn. Thank you.